Hello, welcome back to the Fish Locker Workshop. We have had a fantastic summer. Sadly now that time is over. First couple of mornings have been freezing. What I've been doing all year is I've been planning projects. Something to get me going through the bad weather. Something for me to do, something for us to share. One of the things that we're doing is we are creating a Fish Locker office. Now I thought it would be nice if we could make the furniture for that office. One of my ideas was that any of the furniture that we make, the materials from which would be coming from salvaged, recycled, reclaimed, that type of thing. The screws and the nails and that I'm going to have to use new, but all of the materials I'm hoping that we can get away with using recycled and reclaimed materials. So that's the plan. I will take you now for a quick walk around the workshop. First thing I'll show you, which you don't usually get to see because it's behind the camera, is my worktops. And what it was I had a friend who was throwing a kitchen away and I salvaged these two worktops. I mean, obviously they don't match, but it doesn't matter. This was from a kitchen and I built these, but what we've been doing is we've been collecting offcuts of wood. Now pallets, I love my pallets. I have been collecting and breaking down pallets of varying different sizes and claiming boards. This was the bottom of an old bed. Oh, there's one of our rocket stoves. And some planks that I've just salvaged. Now, all of the pieces I'm hoping to make are from these and those. So, let's see what we're going to do. First things first, I planned out what I wanted to make. Just like when you're back in school, I drew it all out as a schematic and I've worked out the external dimensions so I know what wood I need. Now my first job is going to be, once I've worked out exactly how many planks I need and all that, I will go through and I will sort out and I will grade all the pieces of wood. Now, of course I'm going to be working with recycled stuff, none of it is going to be perfect. It's going to be bowed, it's going to be bent, it's going to be chipped, it's going to be scratched, it's going to have holes in it, but I think that adds to the character of the piece. Now let's get measured out. We'll measure them all out, we'll grade them and then we're going to sand them all off and clean them. Right, I've got everything measured out. This is one of the reasons why I like doing this first. The plans that I'd made, the plans that I'd wanted, the heights and the lengths that I'd wanted, as I've measured it out and as I've looked through all the pieces of wood that I've got, I couldn't actually make it. Because there would have been one or two where there would have been a seam right in the middle of where you're looking. So I've changed the schematic slightly. This is why I like doing this. An extra 5 minutes now, measuring it out and looking to see what you've got and grading it all. I would rather do it now and change the plans than get all the way down the line to the end and be like, oh no, I haven't got enough. Oh, that's not going to work. So yeah, that's why I do the plans. That's why I measure it all out. Also, have you ever heard the old saying that you measure twice and you cut once? Yeah, that's the reason why I'd actually messed it up and I'd measured it wrong. So when I remeasured it, it was there. If I'd have cut that, the whole piece would have been ruined. So measure twice, cut once. These are all the pieces of wood that I'm going to use. These were an old pallet, these were boxes, these were boards I took off out of a skip near a building site. What I'm going to do is I am going to cut them all off to the sizes that I want and get them all sanded and graded. Right, that's everything cut. Now I don't know about you, but there is something really satisfying about this to me. This is everything lined up. This is another way that I can also check that all my cuts are the right length, as in all of the pieces line up together, so they're all the right lengths. I mean, obviously they're going to be different length for different pieces, but if these four slats, if one of them was longer than that, you'd know that you'd cut one of them wrong. Whereas when all of them are exactly the same length, look, you know that it's all right. We've got it all cut now. All we're going to do is we're going to sand them all off and make them all right. Just going to take a second to show you. This is why I love doing this. This is what it started off like. Look at the character this piece of wood has now. A little bit of sanding. I think that personally, I think that looks better than something you'd buy from the shop. That's what it started out like. Just a little bit of sanding just brings out all the character of it, doesn't it? And the same with these pieces, look. Just a few more to go. Right, finally, and although I'm a little bit dusty, it is all done. I just think it looks fantastic. Every piece unique, all ready to use. So I've got cross pieces, uprights, side sections, panels, boards. Now what I'm going to have to do is, because the shelving that I'm making is too big to fit up the stairs, I'm having to make it almost flat pack style. So I'll make it all now, I'll measure out, cut all the little joints, and then we'll take it upstairs and screw it together up there. But yeah, I think this looks fantastic. I'm at the point now where I'm knocking all of the joins out. All I've been doing is I've been using my bench hook that I made in a previous video, a chisel and a bit of wood to knock it with. One of the ways that you can check to see if they're all lined up, line them all up on the bottom, like that. See? If they weren't all flush, it wouldn't fit. See? Just like that. To give you some type of gauge how long this project has taken, when I started this, I was clean shaven. Now I haven't been working every hour of the day, I've just been doing a bit here and there. But fingers crossed, we're now ready for assembly. I've got all the pieces all cut and sanded and drilled and countersunk as well. For those of you that aren't aware, when you're using a screw, there generally is like a chamfered head on it. If you want them to sit flush like this, if you want them to sit flush so that they don't stick out, then you can use what's called a countersink, which is basically that, and all it does is it bores like a little chamfer in, so when you put your screw in, it fits flush. So they've all been cut, they've all been sanded, they've all been drilled, they've all been countersunk. Fingers crossed, I have worked it out all right, and when we go and put it upstairs, when we go and carry it upstairs and put it all together, it all fits. Welcome to the fish locker office. Now I have recruited a little bit of help. What are we going to do now?
Build a desk.
Come on then. This is where it all goes right or all goes wrong. Yeah, that's better fit.
Stop pleasing.
Right, well, my wonderful assistant here is helping me by putting screws in all the holes that are ready. It took a little bit of organising to decide which ones we wanted at the front and which ones we wanted at the back, but yeah, all we've got to do now is just put all the boards on.
And even plaster.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
That's my poly farm. It's my poly farm.
Yeah. Just because I've got a poly finger. Finished! And there we are. There it is, it's all gone together. You can see here how I put the joins in. There's a better example. How half and half, just to stabilise rather than having too many supports. And there. But yeah, it's the moment of truth now is to see if those fit underneath it. What we got?
The desk. Right a bit under.
What are you doing under there? And there we are, finished. It's not a coincidence that these fit in there so well. Work gear, camping gear, diving gear. I don't know about your house, but our house, one of the biggest problems that we're having is storage for stuff. We just have so much gear. Hopefully that will solve my problem. And then at some point in time, I'm going to make a desk that's going to go there. So the first part of the fish locker office is complete. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was yeah, a bit of an experiment as to a video. I don't think I'm happier with that than if I'd bought it. I mean, it's taken me longer, but it is absolutely unique. I love how this wood looks when it's been a little bit of weather. Every single bit of it's got a little bit of character, hasn't it? And like I said before, all of the components apart from the screws were recycled, resourced. Yeah, out of the skip, they were pallets. I enjoyed designing it myself, measuring up the little different pieces of wood. I mean, like I say, they've got character. They're a little bit bowed, they're a little bit bent. Some of them have got old screw and nail holes in them. So it was a little bit more messing about than you would do if you just bought it all brand new and fresh. Because some of them that were bowed and that were bent or a little bit wider than others because they'd swelled or they'd shrunk. It took like a little bit of a jigsaw, but I like that challenge. Yeah, looking forward to doing more of these little projects. If you have any ideas for any projects that you think we should have a go at tackling over the winter, let me know. Leave it in a comment. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give it a subscribe and make sure you tick the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our videos that are coming up. All the best, and we will see you later.